Hey, how's it going, Ecamm and YouTube family? This is Bradley Vincent of Bradley Teaches, and today we're going to do widgets. I know this question has come up a lot, and a lot of people have been talking about, doing widgets and things like that. I'm going to run you through a little process of how to use Streamlabs to do widgets. And if we have a little extra time, um, I'll probably even jump into Keynote and show you how to make an animated GIF to use for your widgets. So that's what it's going to be about today, y'all. Widgets. All right. So, and if you have any other general graphics questions as it relates to live streaming, ask them here, and I'll see if I can get that worked out for you too. How's it going, Billy Richard? Good to see you, man. Um, Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back again. One of my live YouTube watchers. So we're going to dive right in and go into making widgets, what widgets do, um, maybe some best practices for widgets, pros and cons of using widgets. We're going to kind of go into widgets a little bit today. And I may even have some extra things as it relates to widgets that you might not know about that we might want to explore. Today is going to be kind of a basic widgets type lesson, and we'll get into, if you want to get into maybe some more advanced type widget things later. But today is just basically widgets, how to get them added to your stream, and that kind of thing, right? So first of all, what a widget is, and I consider a widget basically four parts, right? So you have the animated image that's going to animate with the trigger, which is the second part. Then we have audio and text. So it's those four parts that typically make up a widget: the animation, the audio, the text, and the triggering event that makes that happen. And at its basic sense, you would consider a widget maybe being a mini web page or a mini app that's put onto your stream that when somebody does something, it triggers a reaction. So that's basically what that is. How's it going, JC? We got a couple people that's called Facebook users right now. That's Chris. I see you, Chris. Um, so yeah, so let's jump in real quick. I am going to go to my second screen, and we're going to go into Streamlabs and build a widget, and I'll show you how they work and things like that, right? So whether or not you have a Streamlabs account, I'm going to show you some basic things and some things to look out for as you build your widgets. Streamlabs has a free option. That's the option I'll be using to build the widgets. There's a paid option that's called Premium or Prime, I think. It kind of depends on what you want to do, right? So if you already have your account, like I told you guys to kind of pre-set up your account, you want to jump into the dashboard. Okay. Yeah, I can answer that for you for sure, Billy. I can definitely do that for you. Um, so here's some things that you quickly need to figure out as far as your widgets. You can log into or make accounts with Streamlab with multiple different applications, right? I personally signed up with Facebook and YouTube. Many other people have, you can also sign up with Twitch and other kind of gaming streaming things. OBS, which Streamlabs is the parent company of, you can use that. But I signed up with Facebook and YouTube. Now, here's the kicker. Usually, when you sign up to one, that's all you're going to get in the system unless you sign up with all the different accounts that you have. And in a general sense, it makes you log in every time. So here's how to get past that right now to show you how to merge. You need to merge all your accounts, because here, if you look at mine, I have Facebook here, which is my main account, but I also have my YouTube account. And how you do that is you have to scroll all the way down here to the bottom to where you see accounts, right down here to account. Then you want to go to settings, And let's just do it. Okay, so settings, you're in settings, then click settings again, right? And then you click account settings. And all the different ways that you logged in, you can now merge those accounts. And that's what you want to do. You don't have to log in 2, 3, 4 times. You want to log into whatever you want your main account to be, and then go to, and I'll walk you through it again. Let's go back. Settings, settings, account settings, and then merge your accounts, right? So that's what you need to do to get it all working and have your main interface ready to go to make your widgets. It's kind of like that Keynote setup I told you, right? Getting that toolbar put together that's ready for you to go to make graphics. You have to do a similar thing with Streamlabs to have you ready to go to make widgets. So make sure all your accounts are in it, right? Now, the typical widget, or maybe the most used widget or whatever else. Let me just turn this off because we don't need this right now. Let's turn that off because we don't need that. All right. The big thing right now with your widgets is that it depends on what account you're logged into that your widget is going to make an interface for. So even though I'm in alert box right now, it's going to only show certain things because I'm in my Facebook account, right? And you'll get what I mean in a second. So an alert box is generally when something happens, an alert will happen and show up into your live stream. Yeah, and so someone said they have their Twitch account merged with their YouTube account and Streamlabs. And that's why you have to do it. You really need to merge all the different accounts you have so they can be used, right? So now I'm in my Facebook, right? So I'm doing alert box, and you'll see here the different things that Facebook can do as far as an alert box. When somebody follows me, when somebody gives me stars, when somebody gives likes, support, share, blah, 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 right? So in a general sense, you have your global settings. So if you want all those events to have the same animation happen, or you can set up a setting for each type of action. And so I turned off some of my actions because I don't have people, buying merchandise or giving me stars, because that's a monetizing thing in Facebook. If you're ready already to monetize your Facebook page and your streams, yes, use stars. It's like a super chat for YouTube with the stars for Facebook. All right, but all that being said, let's get to the nitty gritty of what it is to make a widget. And like I said, a widget is 4 parts: the animation, the sound, the text, and the triggering event. The triggering event is already baked into the system, right? They've already picked out events that will trigger your widget. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to build a basic widget. Then I'm going to show you how to customize a widget. So let's test the first widget. This is all generic, right? So that is a generic widget. I'm testing the donation, right? So that's somebody made a donation. It gets the zombie animation, text pops up, sound pops up. Now I can go in and change all those things in the general or global settings, and it will change it for all of them, right? The alert delay, how long it's delayed before it comes out, how long it is before the modification is delayed. You can set a bad word filter, things like that. But let's go into the one that I picked for when somebody likes my Facebook video, right? So I'm going to test that. And I took the sound off because I didn't want it going over and over and over as I did it. So this is a little animation of my logo bouncing and thumbs up going up, right? So I'm going to show you how to put those elements within your widget. So let's go to global events. I'm going to go down to like. And now we're going to set the elements for our widget. So they have different layouts. graphic on top, text on the bottom, graphic with text going through it, graphic with text on the side. Now this is the generic one, the graphic with the text on the bottom. You can set your font size. You can set the animation that happens before it actually goes in. You can set your font weight, font colors, how the text actually reacts. You can set all those different things. So now let's go to the image that you want to use for your animation. Now, these are the generic animations that are already in Streamlabs. I don't know if you can notice here on the top of my screen, but I'll show it to you real quick. There's another website that I've gone to just to get generic animations, and it's called Gifly, and it's giflite.herocorp.com, and I'll put the link in the comment stream. So that link will get you to this website. Typically what I do first is I'll search for transparent. Oh, I can spell. So I usually search for transparent first, and then that way I know that they're going to be transparent graphics. Here's a cool one, Michael Jackson dancing. So let's save that image. I'm going to save it to my widget folder, which I already have. So you can go here and save a generic animation. You can find your own animation. You can make your own animation. But here's the site that I use. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Giphy is also a good one. This is just the one that I found. I will typically make my own, but this is kind of a good generic site for that. But make sure you want to have a transparent background on your animated GIF, and they have to be animated GIFs, or you'll have a box that shows up behind your image, and you definitely don't want that. So I'm going to go here, and I am going to drag in my Michael Jackson. And you have to click on the image to get the checkbox, then select it. Just uploading it won't be enough, right? You have to click on the image, then select it. So now as you see here, this is my Michael Jackson animation. That's what's going to happen when the Facebook like is triggered. You also can pick the animation for the text, font colors, things like that. I'm going to leave all that kind of alone right now. For those that have expertise in CSS, cascading style sheets, or JavaScript, you can actually even go in and edit at the base level of the widget. I've done that before. You don't really need to do it, but you can do stuff like that. And I'll actually show you how I did the animation with my logo also. But once you get all the things in that you want in, hit Save Settings and send a test. And as you see here, that's Michael Jackson dancing when someone likes my stream, right? So that'll be basically how that works. Now, here's the deal. So now I have a basic widget, and I've made my image. I can select a sound, add whatever sound I want, as long as it's MP3. You add it the same way you add an image. You have font weights, font size, font color. You can adjust all those different things. The font itself, the animation. Do you want it to fade in, fade down, do different things like that. So, but here's the key thing to get the widget into Ecamm. So I go through all this, I kind of build the widget, and I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in a second, but I just want to show you the parts. So I build the widget, and at the top here, I'm not going to show you my code, but I'll copy the URL. Like I said, it's basically a dynamically generated web page, right? A little miniature web page that has an animation on it. So I'll copy the URL, and now we're going to go back to Ecamm, and I'm going to share my screen. So let me go back to Ecamm, and I'm going to share my screen, live demo mode. So now you see everything on my interface right now. So I've copied that URL from Streamlabs, and I want to add that to my Ecamm now, or to my live stream as a widget. And so how to do that, I'm going to use this globe feature down here, which lets you add widgets. And I'm going to call this one just new Facebook widget. All right. And I'll paste that back in. Now, here's the thing that I actually want you to check also. The widget options and the frame rate. As you could see, the Michael Jackson animation was kind of a little bit rectangular, but not too rectangle. It tries to give you generic sizes to kind of help you scale it properly, but I'm going to add it with those dimensions. And as you see here, that's what that widget would be, right? Let me move this out of the way some. There we go. So now if I scale that widget, and I'll move it here, and let's go back to test it. So now you see both of them, my old one and my new one, right? And so the scaling on it, see how that box is all the way around it because of the shape of it? I would do my box more square. So in this scenario, I'd probably do 450 by 450. Which now allows me, if I test it again, see how tighter that is to it now, and I can move it to more places. Kind of like any other kind of overlay or bug. This is kind of like an animated dynamic bug, right? Let me close that one. This is more like an animated dynamic bug. So you want to be able to move it around your screen and get it where you really want it. So you want to make sure that you size your widget close to proportion to how your widget is actually shaped. So that's what you want to do when you bring the widget in. So again, it's the globe. You can give it a name, put in your widget URL, then add the widget overlay. And now, whenever something happens, it will trigger that widget. Yes, Eileen, your name is showing up in the YouTube comments. For some reason, they're not showing up in the Facebook comments. It says Facebook user. I think it's a restream thing and giving permission to restream to use it. I'll have to circle back around and fix that. Yeah, I couldn't tell it was you on Facebook, but I can definitely tell it's you now. So now let's jump back into design mode over here, and we're going to go back to Streamlabs. So that's the quick and dirty add a widget, right? So let's walk through it again. I have my alert box, which is that generic widget to alert when something happens, right? You pick that widget based on what account you're using, right? I was using Facebook just then. Now here's the cool thing. I can do Facebook. So if I go to YouTube now, the options change, right? So now YouTube subscriber, YouTube member, but this link stays the same. So if I'm streaming in my YouTube channel and YouTube triggers happen, the animation would be in YouTube. It wouldn't be in Facebook, right? So it depends on where that triggering event happens and where you're streaming and where that triggering event is happening from. So all those things kind of relate to it, right? So if you're in your Facebook widget builder, but you're streaming live to YouTube on your own YouTube channel and people are doing different things, you're not going to see it because you're not streaming at the time on YouTube. Those are YouTube triggers, right? So I wanted to walk you through a few other widgets and kind of give you the pros and cons of each and describe what they are. Widgets within themselves are not hard to build, but some bad stuff can happen or they can just flat out not work sometimes because basically you're dealing with things through the internet. You're pushing out calls through a database and things like that, and you don't know. Sometimes it won't connect. Sometimes you have to reset the widget. So they're a very good interactive type tool, and it's a good way to show your participants in your stream what you're doing and have them actually interact with you. But you're dealing with something that's dynamically generated, and it could break, right? And no, I have not used a Streamlabs chat widget because it is one of those proprietary things with them that you have to do more stuff to make it work. And I'm going to go through some of the descriptions I have of the widgets and pros and cons of them to help you figure out what you actually want to do with them or not. So let's click over here to the All Widgets tab, and I'll actually kind of describe some of them for you. The alert box is basically what I just showed you how to do. And the alert box will alert when different things trigger on your account, right? That's how the alert box works. The chat box will include the channel's chat stream into your video in a live format, but you have to add other, I don't want to call them plugins, but you have to have other accounts working for that chat to work, right? So now you're piling on other little apps to make that app work. I didn't do all the stuff that it would take for it to work, and I was like, it's not really worth it to me because I can always just do a screen share of my chat window or just that window as part of my live feed. I'm thinking about exploring that because I know a lot of people like to see their chat live and see it scroll by. And you can do different layouts with this that you can't do with your just comment window, right? So I am going to explore that, but it was more things I had to download and sign up for to make it work. So I'm like, The event list is kind of like the alert box, right? What happens with it is kind of a scrolling kind of, it's almost like a ticker, right? But it's a scrolling kind of thing that tells you what's going on your page or on your stream. I actually kind of liked it. Don't need that because I'm actually showing other people how to do it. So I'm going to copy it right now, but I have no idea actually. Let's go back to this. Events and add the widget. I'm not even sure what the event overlay is. Yeah, see, it's still showing the other widget. Now I'm going to show you some stuff like that too, because that is kind of, here's the weird thing, and I'm glad that did that. When you're multi-streaming, it can get confusing, right? Because it depends on where you are and where your users or your participants are. Another thing that can get confusing is if you have more than one widget on the screen at the same time, right? Because you may think you're editing or whatever else the event widget. You grab your code, you paste your code in, then something will happen that should trigger the event widget, but it triggers the alert widget. So I would strongly suggest that you only have one widget on your screen at a time. Now, yes, if the widgets are extremely different, like you might have your tip jar and the alert widget, okay, you can try that. But I wouldn't have a bunch of widgets at the same time. And quite frankly, the Streamlabs widgets, as Eileen is saying here, because she uses it with Twitch, Twitch is like the favorite child, it seems like, of the Streamlabs and OBS community. Especially OBS, right? Because you're streaming and you're using your widget natively through their system. They built it, so it's going to work with their stuff the best, right? But the streaming apparatus that I think it seems like they prefer is the Twitch interface, because the Twitch interface just operates the widgets better through Streamlabs, I feel. Facebook does it okay. I would say in hierarchy, it's probably OBS/Twitch, YouTube, then Facebook. So, it's kind of how much you're trying to do with it versus what you're gonna get out of it, right? So that's kind of the thing with that. So let's go back to all widgets again. So a donation goal. Let me talk about that for a second. The way that donations work, Streamlabs, for their widgets, want you to have your donation set up through PayPal. And so that can be an issue for some people, right? I use Cash App and Venmo. I have a PayPal account, but to make my donation widget work, I have to go through PayPal and use Streamlabs proprietary web link that they set up for me for my donations. So your donations have to go through Streamlab in a sense for them to work as their widget. So I'm neither give nor take on that. You can decide if you want to use that or not, but that's just something I wanted to make sure that you knew about, right? Media share. That is a cool, I like that widget. And I'm just going to kind of describe all of them. I don't really want to go through and show you how to make all of them, because they're all pretty much made the same, right? You go in, you make your graphic, you pick out your music, set your font size and font colors, but these are just a different action apparatus, right? The media share is based on donations. So the more people donate, you allow them to put media on your live stream, such as add a video or add a graphic. I don't know if you really want to do that or not, but hey, that's the thing. But the more people donate, the more they can add to your video. I would strongly suggest that you have a second party being like your producer in that sense, where somebody pays $5 and they want to put up some video. Let your producer see that first, and they can turn it on or off. Viewer count, basically what it says it is. The tip ticker, basically what it says it is. How much money you're making, things like that. You can set the goals for subscribers, and as they come, it'll look like the donation goal. Hey, I want to have 50 subscribers by the end of this broadcast. And as people add to it, the bar gets bigger. Now, the tip jar. Here's what's funny. I never could get the tip jar to work at all. It might have just been something going on with my system, something going on with their system, but I could not get the tip jar to work at all, which is kind of part of, because this is web-based and these are little mini websites, you have to really watch for those kind of things, right? Because this little graphic, I don't have it. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Thought I had it. Oh, yeah. Thought I had it. Don't have it. There's a little thing that pops up that says user error, there we go, tech difficulties. And I'll just throw this on my screen right now. This will pop up a lot. If they're having issues, you're having issues, you're trying to get something to work and it won't work, this graphic may become a common occurrence for you while doing widgets. So I don't want to poo-poo the idea of doing widgets at all, but you just have to realize that you're using a online app that other people are using, kind of like when you stream, right? But you're making calls to different places and dynamically generating content. So you have to watch that. Stream Boss. I dig that one. Basically, the widget randomly picks one of your people that's interacting, makes them the boss, right? Then as other people donate money or make comments or give hearts and likes, they bring down the power of that boss so they can become a boss. Yeah, you're exactly right. That tip jar is a Twitch thing, right? Like I said, the favorite child of Streamlabs. and the OBS system. So a lot of these things work seamlessly with Twitch. They're not going to work, they're not going to fly as well in a hierarchy, like I said, right? OBS, Twitch, YouTube, then Facebook. And that's just kind of how it goes with that, as I have experienced. But I think widgets are a great thing to use to add interactivity, to show, you know, like right here, I can show viewer count. Right now it's showing we got 20 viewers. I'll copy that. And let's go over here back to my main menu. And I'm going to add this overlay. So this is one that I could easily So that's an easy overlay. Now see this one right here, this is showing how many live viewers I have in Facebook right now, right? That's not showing how many live viewers I have overall because I'm logged in through Facebook, right? So that's the kind of thing. It depends on what system you're logged in with, what things you're doing, things like that, right? So you have to watch out for all those different things as you build your widgets. All right, so let's go back. All widgets again. We have the spin the wheel, which is another apparatus you have to sign up for to make it work. The donation goal, like I said, the Twitch thing. The sponsor banner is cool. You can add multiple graphics and have them animate through. So yes, it is a widget, but it's not a dynamic widget as far as triggered events make it happen. So that's a great way to add sponsors to your website and time them out where you don't have to do anything special for them. You just add the graphics here. It's transparent, how long they last for each of them. You save it, put that widget on your site, and so now you can have your sponsor banners rotating hands off, right? And as you add new sponsors, take old sponsors off, it just rotates, no problem, you are good to go. So I actually like that one. That's an easy one to maintain. You put them all in. There's no dynamic server calls, none of that stuff, no triggers. It's basically a like a slideshow, right? Or a rotator, like that you would see on different websites. All right, so with that, I'm going to scroll through now, see if you guys have any questions in particular about widgets. And I am going to, if you guys want to, I will show you how I made my little animation. I'm going to have to go back to my widgets and change it back to that widget. So let me go to, I need to go back to Facebook. And Facebook likes. And switch it back to mine. Save. Right, so I can show you how I made this animation if you like, and we can kind of work back through that. Yeah, I think the sponsor bar is a good thing because it doesn't have those dynamic pulls on it, right? You basically upload all your graphics, you put your timing in it, and you just let it rock and roll, right? There's no dynamic element to it where it's waiting on something for that to happen, right? It's basically an animated banner that just scrolls through and has your graphics in it. So you got the single and the double option where you can stack them, put them side by side. I just had the basic one, transparent background. These are just kind of dummy graphics in there. And I'll actually copy this one and show you what it looks like. It's not that big a deal. So let's go back to Ecamm. Make another widget. call it ads. And so there it is there, the Streamlabs. Oh, you know what? Let's go edit this. Let's do it 450 wide by 200 tall. Let's try that. All right, and then we'll go back to here so we can see it better. Oh, that's why, duh. I'm in the wrong scene. That's why I can never find my my overlays. All right. Let's try that one more time. 450 wide by 200. So here is the ad overlay, right? And so I just have it in there now just for, and you'll see the animations roll themselves through. And as they kind of snap back and forth. No, I haven't seen a widget that will collect names and draw a winner. There is a spin the wheel widget though, and you still have to put the names in or whatever you want to put in, and then you can spin the wheel. That is definitely a widget that you can use. Now, as I said before, and I'll say again, I'll just keep saying the same thing over and over. Your success with them is going to kind of be based on what you're using in your system and all those kind of things, right? So you can actually do a spin the wheel option, right? So you'd come in here and add all the different things that will be on the wheel, right? And then you can spin the wheel. You can add the spin the wheel widget as a widget, right? And so that is definitely an option. Instead of something that will collect names, you can use the spin the wheel widget, which is a pretty cool widget. But there's also other websites that have, you know, spin the wheel type stuff already built into it. So you can definitely use a widget for that. I would use a spin the wheel widget versus a different type of widget for what you're talking about. Yes, I am in Streamlabs. And yeah, from your lips to YouTube's ears, we'll see. That's my hope at some point. So yeah, for sure, we definitely want to. So that's how widgets work in a general sense. You make the graphic, add the audio, make the text changes, things like that, and you just save out your URL and paste it in by clicking on the globe icon for the overlay in Ecamm. Now, I want to show you something. Oh, thank you. I want to show you something. Now, this is an advanced level thing. And if you guys want to go there, it won't be today, but if you want to go there, I can do a tutorial on this also, but it's an advanced level thing. And I'm still trying to mess with it a little bit to make sure it'll even work properly. But I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this, but there is Streamlabs, but there's also a site called StreamElements, right? And I'm going to show that to you real quick. Where are we going here? Where are we at? All right. So dashboard. So there's another website here, and let's go back over here to my share screen. There's another website that's called StreamElements, and StreamElements will let you build the graphic and add the dynamic element of a widget. So you can have custom widgets, right? So I can make a button style or a box style that I want, then put the widget content within it. It's pretty cool. So as you see right here, this rectangle is my video screen, right? And then I'll add elements that I want to have in it, engagement elements, right? And that's what I was going to say, because I know it's an advanced feature, and I will add your comment. Yeah, it's an advanced feature, but it's not for this group, right? And so I thought it was cool. I started building some things in it, but it's not like the other widgets. This one flies even less than the other ones fly, right? So, but this is an advanced tool called StreamLabs, where you can build from the nuts and bolts level or minutia of a widget and kind of build it out really how you want it. And so you can do some real fancy looking graphics and put your content in and things like that, right? But as far as plug and play, ready to go, this is the way to go. Now, yes, you can definitely watch this as a replay. My replays are always available. But what I'm going to do now is, I think you all said you wanted to see how I did my animated GIF of my logo. Am I right or wrong? Just wanted to make sure, because I don't want to keep y'all longer than y'all want to be here. All right. So I'm going to go into, let's go into Keynote. And I'm going to build a new one. Well, you know, I'm just going to build a brand new one. File. So this is actually the animation already made. But I'm going to make a new one to show you how I did it. So let's go to File, New. And we're going to go to Basic Presentation like we always do. Select all, delete. Now, here's what you want to do though. You want to go over here to Document. All right, let's make this window smaller because it looks like you're not getting all of it. There we go. All right, and close that window. All right, there we go. Now you can see everything. All right, so you want to go to Document, and we're going to make this a custom slide size of 400 by 400. Kind of like the size I use when I make my bugs, right? So we got 400 by 400. We're going to zoom out to 100%. And I'm going to add my emoji head graphic, which I already have saved over here. I'm going to use the blue one since I already made a gold one. And I'll just drag that in. All right, so there's my emoji head. I fill up the whole area. Now, this is just the animation part, this is just the graphic part, not the text part. Just the graphic, not the text, right? So let's click off of everything, and we're going to go back to Document, Format, and No Fill. So now it's transparent. And now this is what I did to make mine, right? One part is a little complicated, one part is not as complicated. So the first thing I did, I didn't do a build in, I just animated. And I animated it, I think I did a, not a build in, an action. Animate action, not a build in, an action. And I think I did bounce. Yeah, I did a bounce on mine. So it's just an action, bounce action, right? And I select the bounce. I think I kicked it up to 5, and I can preview it, right? And so that's what's going to happen when the widget is triggered, right? So it's just basic animation. Now the second part is more complicated, and I'm going to show you some pre-built things that I did, but I'm going to explain to you how I did them. So that okay. What I just did is I just pasted in a bunch of my Facebook thumbs up that I got off the internet, right? So I went to the official Facebook page, to the marketing section, and I got their thumbs up icon, which you see here, and I sized it multiple different sizes, right? The reason they're up off the top of the screen is because all of these thumbs, it's the same thumb copied multiple times, and I made it different sizes. All of these thumbs will move from the bottom to the top. And let's go to my animate build order, and you'll see that real quick. So I'm going to preview it. See that? And so there, it basically has just a basic move animation on it. And I put them at the top. Let me click on one of them. So I put one at the top. It's a move in, build in from bottom to top. So I want them to go to the top. So I put them off the top of the page and it'll automatically move off the top, right? Now, what I did also is I made them multiple different sizes and I changed the move in timing to different times, right? Anywhere from 0.7 seconds to 2 seconds. I just randomly put different times on them and they're all random sizes. Now, also what I really want to do, let me go over here to my object list and I'm going to put them under my logo, right? All right. So now if I preview it, see that? So my logo hops and all the thumbs go off, right? So the thumb part is a little more complicated, but not drastically complicated. All you really do is, let me put that back on the bottom again so we can see. We get a thumb, we make it multiple sizes. I'll just hold down shift and make it another size, right? We make it multiple sizes, put them off the top of your graphic, then add animate, build in, move in, bottom to top, because you want them to go off the top of a different page. Yes, and so each of them has a slightly different timing, slightly different size, and where you move them, how far you move them from the top edge is how far they have to travel, right? So even if I have two of them that are 1.25 seconds, if one of them is up here, it's still going to go faster because it has to get a longer way in 1.25 seconds, right? And I just kind of have them scattered on there. And when you play them again, right? So I get the bounce and I get the movement. And let me put my icon back on top. And we'll play them one more time. Right? And so here's the things you have to be sure of. You make your graphic or whatever it is. It has whatever action it has on it. And no big deal. I put an action on mine instead of a build-in. You can do a build-in if you want to. But an action works just the same. Now, all of these thumbs, or if you want to do hearts, you want to do stars, whatever that icon is, you want to make sure that they all build in at the same time as that little animation. So you want to make sure it's build width, number one, right? Build width, number one, all of them. So the animation and the movement all go together, right? And I have it played through one time. I think the whole animation might be 2 seconds, which is no big deal. So now we just export it. So we go to File, Export to, and we're going to do animated GIF this time instead of a movie like we usually do. Move this out of the way. And I usually do large resolution just so it'll be sharper. The frame rate, as you noticed, or you might not have noticed, that in Streamlabs, it asks you the frame rate you want to use for your animation. It's usually 10, 15, 20. So 24 is fine. Might even be overkill, but it's good to go. Then you hit next. You just want to put it where you want to put it, right? So BV-B for blue. And I'm going to export it. Right? So now I have my widget animation, and so then I'll be ready to use it in Streamlabs. So let's see what this question is. I would like to do separate video files and layer them in Ecamm. Not for widgets. But yes, you can do separate video files and layer them in Ecamm. Separate transparent video files. That's completely okay. Not a problem at all. Because whatever's transparent on one, or even translucent on one, whatever's behind it will animate through it. I did something very similar with overlays a couple of weeks ago when I was doing dynamic overlays, right? And I had the curtain go up like on a stage, right? So I had the stage floor, I had the outer curtains, then I had the curtain go up in the middle. That's a layered video, right? Where it had the different parts on it, so only that one part moved and one part stayed, right? So you can add multiple videos as transparent layers. Not a big deal at all. Yeah, but you can't do them for widget animations. Widget animations must be GIFs. They cannot be videos. All right, so now we have that saved. Let's go back now to my widget screen, and we're going to add the blue one now as the widget. Software that Streamlabs is not compatible. There's software that works better with Streamlabs than other, right? And you can't really fault them for that. They want people to use it, but it's made for them, right? They want you to use this through OBS. And I'm sure it works seamless with no problems with OBS. It works really good with Twitch. And then, as I said before, a little bit less than that is YouTube, a little bit less than that is Facebook, right? But as far as streaming software, it works okay with Ecamm. But it's made by OBS, right? It's made by the same company that makes OBS. So that's what it's going to work the best with. Now, until some other third-party standalone widget type thing is revealed, this is probably one of the better options. Now, there are other web-based options that do dynamic lower thirds and dynamic data-generated graphics. The name escapes me now, but I believe they are a Ecamm partner, and I'll probably be doing some tutorials for their software too soon. I just got so many of them in my Rolodex right now, I can't think of the exact name of it. But they actually do dynamically generated graphics based on Excel spreadsheets and things like that. But you're still making a call off of your streaming software to another apparatus to get content to then be fed to your stream. So you got to watch all that. Yeah, and I didn't forget about you, Billy. Let me go back to your question, actually. Okay. Yeah, so that's that, y'all. Oh, you know what? I was going to add my graphic to this. Let me add the graphic to that just to show you the graphic. So I'm going to go down to my go back to this graphic, add new, uploads, and I'm going to add my blue face, which is here. Make sure you click it and get the check mark. You know what? I don't need that. I'm just doing house cleaning. Sorry about that. All right. Then hit select. So now I got the blue one, and now I can test it. Uh-oh. Save settings. Now I can test it, right? So that's that's how we do that. All right. And copy URL, and I'll add that to my Facebook in a second. All right. So that is that with widgets. I want to open a floor now to just general graphics questions or even more widget questions. Let me add this to my I don't know if that actually works or not. Let's see. We'll see what happens with that. All right, so now let's what we're going to do now is I'm going to answer a few of your general graphics questions. Now, Billy asked a question about I tried to make a lower third in Keynote to bring in a Keynote. When I export as a PNG, it came out with a big white box. Okay, easy question. All right, so let me go back to File, New, Presentation. Here's what happened. Here's what you did. Here's where you forgot to do. So I'm sure you did it on here and all was well. You made your lower third. Here's what you forgot. So let me put a shape on there. What you have to do is click off of everything. Nothing is selected. Then go to Format. Because nothing is selected, you'll be formatting the slide. Go to Format, No Fill. That was the problem. And now when you export as a PNG, it will be transparent. Now, if you start off, because this is what I used to do, there's a mistake that I made early on when I was doing my tutorials. I had everybody start off with a black slide. Don't do that. Start off with a white slide. Here's why. When you go to no fill, it automatically turns black. And if you started with a black slide, then you go to no fill, it stays black. You don't even really know if it's transparent or not. No guarantee. But if you start with a white slide and go to no fill and it turns black, you know visually that something changed. But that was your problem. You basically just you had a color fill on your slide. And if it was white, that's what you got. Oh, sorry about that. I keep doing it. I'm looking at the screen now. I'm not looking at the screen. Okay, let me go back. Color fill. All right. It is a white slide. I'll just do it again. Rewind. Okay. File. New. I always start off with a white presentation. So create that. I do a select all, delete. Let's add a shape here. Make it green. Okay. Here's what typically happens. You got all your stuff on the screen and your slide is white and you think because it's white, it's blank. It's not blank. It's filled with white. So you have to click off of everything. Make sure nothing is clicked. And when you go to Format, you're then formatting the slide. You want to go to background fill equals no fill. Now it's transparent. So when you export as a PNG, it will be transparent. That color flip is a telltale sign that it's transparent. So that's why I tell people never start off with a black background slide. Because if you then go to no fill or forget to go to no fill, you just think it's transparent, you're going to have a big black box. It's like you had the big white box. You want to start off with some kind of colored background. And when you go to no fill, it turns black, which gives you a visual cue that your slide is blank, is transparent, and that your image will have a transparent background. So that's the best way to do it. But it was just a simple thing. Make sure you click off of everything, because if something is clicked, you can't manipulate the slide. Make sure nothing is clicked. Format, background for the slide. So if it was already filled, that's what you're going to get. If it was white or whatever, right? So no fill turns it black. Black is transparent in Keynote. When you no fill, it turns black. Black is black on Keynote, but no fill is also black. To save it, so now I have a graphic here floating on the background. I'm going to go to File, Export to, Images, PNG, Export with transparent background, next. And I'm going to go to my desktop, BV Teaches, widget folder's fine, 3, export. So now it's been exported. I'm going to go over here to my Keynote, go back to my big screen, Ecamm, and there's the graphic, right? And I can size it and move it around. All right. So that's essentially it. Make sure it has no fill on the slide. Slide has no fill. Export as PNG with transparency. Now, let me just say this, because this is a little caveat. I never do graphics, especially lower thirds, on full size slides. Never. Because if I put it here, I'm stuck there. Empty pixels are still pixels. And when I bring it in, all of this is going to be a buffer that's going to keep me from touching those edges. If I want to move my graphic here in Ecamm, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would be stuck in that corner. So what you also want to do is go to Document and change the document size to something closer to what your lower third will be. And typically I do 400 by 200. Now you have to remember this is 400 by 200, not 1920 by whatever, right? So I do it that big, and if I export it, I'll just export it real quick just to show you. Export images, PNG, next. So now let's bring this one in. And so now I can make this touch all the edges, right? Because I didn't do it the size of the whole screen. I did it the size of what I wanted my lower third to roughly be, right? So that's how that works. That's how you want to make your graphic or your slide roughly the size that your lower third is going to be. And I think in Keynote, the smallest size non-square graphic slide size you can make is 400 by 200. I always do that. When I make bugs, I make them 400 by 400 square. When I do overlays, I make them full screen, right? Because they're going to be overlaying the full screen. But when I make lower thirds or other graphics that are going to be placed around my screen, I make my slide size smaller and more closer to the size of the graphic. Like I said though, Keynote, the smallest rectangular size you can make in Keynote is 400 by 200. Then I make my lower third almost fill that up, right? Because my graphic that you've been seeing pop up on my screen is a 400 by 200 graphic, right? And I can move it around my screen because I made it fill up almost that whole space. Appreciate you, Eileen. Means a lot when I can give you a good tool because I know you're out there doing your thing. Yeah, but I hope that helped you out, Billy. Hope that was good for you. All right, y'all. Are there any other general graphics questions or any questions about widgets? Please let me know. Yeah, my logo wall graphic was made by my friend from Louisiana. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it or not, but he also made me a 4-foot tall Black Panther mask. Awesome. Custom made. He made it a while ago before we tragically lost Chadwick Boseman. And I just recently got it and hung it up and has a whole new meaning for me now. Yeah, but he also made, that's why Bradley teaches Memoji head that he made into kind of an iconic graphic. And actually the glasses sit off from the face. It's pretty cool. And so I have the light shine up on it, casting a shadow on the glasses. I love it. Yeah, so he does excellent work. Okay, cool. Glad that could help you. So if there's any other kind of generic graphics questions y'all have or any questions about widgets, please let me know. I love doing these things and hanging out. So yeah. So let me see. How do you make your emoji white? Okay. I did not do that in Keynote, right? What now there is, because I actually redrew it, as you know, the graphics that you've seen that I had, like the graphic you see in my lower third right here. I redid the graphics for that in Illustrator. The white outline of the emoji. Oh, you mean like in my introduction? That little thing with the white outline on that. Yeah. When you bring I actually did a video on memojis about 3 weeks ago, and I just uploaded that one to YouTube yesterday. So check out my video about memojis on my YouTube channel, and it shows you how to put the white outline around it and all of that in Keynote. Whereas before, we were kind of struggling with, oh, can I edit my emoji? You know, blah, blah, blah. I figured out ways. Okay, you want the white face emoji. Okay. I did that in Illustrator. So I actually retraced it and drew that in a program that I use outside of Keynote. Now you're making me think though, there probably is a way to do it in Keynote, and I don't have my emoji head right here in front of me. But I'm just gonna grab the other emoji just to have one, and I want to see something real quick. So let's do that real quick. Let's go back to Keynote because I like challenges. All right, so we're back in Keynote, and so I know, yes, this one is already white. So just hang with me. Okay, so you can use the vector-like tools and draw in Keynote, right? Now, so say you didn't have glasses, but I have glasses on mine. So you didn't have glasses. This is the quick and dirty kind of easy way that I would say do it. So the first thing I would do is so my emoji. Oh, I knew where that graphic was at, but I don't want to start looking for it. Okay, so say for instance you take the first part of what I'm talking about with the emoji, and I have the white outline around it, right? You know what? See, y'all gonna make me do that. All right, now I'm back. I just did a screen capture of my screen because I want to show you. I don't want to just do it in theory. I really want to show you how I would do that. All right, so where'd that graphic go? All right, so here we go. So this is how I would make now stick with me now because I'm not going to trace the glasses too, right? So first, should be back on now. Yeah, should be back on now. Yeah. So let's do the mask first, right? All right, so let's do the mask first. The mask is there. Go to alpha channel. Yeah, let's take the white outline away too. Let's do that. All right, done. Okay, so here's my memoji. Oh, I just did all that awesome work and y'all didn't see none of it. Okay, so let me do it again. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. I keep doing it to myself. All right, so I just did a screen capture of my emoji head from my intro animation, right? So that's where we are. And I'm going to show you how I would make a white emoji head of myself based on this. Screen share should be on now. You should be good now. We should be good. I know you guys are a little bit behind me. All right, so mask. And we're going to mask it closer to the shape. All right, so done with that. So now we're going to do alpha channel. And let's pull out all the blues. Done. Okay, so I did a mask to crop it, then I did my alpha to put out all the background, right? So essentially, I would still start with an outline around my image, right? So I have the thing here. I go to Format, Line Border, and I'm going to do Line Border. I'm going to pick white, right? Okay, and I'll scroll it down a little bit. So that's my white border on it. Because I'm going to make the whole thing white, I don't really have to worry about it encroaching on the image, right? And so now what I would do Zoom in a little bit more. And I would go to Shape, Pen Tool, and I would use the white outline to help me draw around my emoji, and using the nice outline as my buffer, right? So I just roughly get inside of it. And you just move and click. You can drag Bezier curves and stuff like that. See, as I did that curve, and so I'll click again. You know, but you can do the straight clicks too. You don't have to worry about making a bad curve or something like that. So no more in theory. Let's do this thing for real. So so we have it there. We fill it with white. Oh, that's a line. Fill, color fill. White. All right, so there's my white emoji head. That's how I would do it. And you said green in the glasses. Okay, so what I would have to do then is I would either trace the glasses, which I can do, but I'm not going to do it here live. You can trace the glasses, or you can just trace the internal parts of the glasses. Unfortunately, Keynote doesn't have a pencil tool versus a pen tool. So if I had a pencil tool and you were kind of, steady hand Luke, so to speak, you could just draw this shape like I'm drawing it right here with the arrow and fill that shape, right? But you have to use a pen tool to draw anything organic, right? And so, yes, you can trace that. Or let's try this. Copy, paste, because I didn't try that yet. Let's say line, no border, and go to alpha and just alpha out other stuff, right? So nothing is left but the glasses. So you can try that. And so you can do kind of multiple things to kind of, figure out, and that's kind of, so you can do multiple things to kind of work out how you want to make those things work, right? And so if I had that, and I'm just spitballing right now because, all right, so see, then I could do a green outline for the glasses when I get them a little bit more perfect, right? So I have my shape, then I have my glasses, right? So you can do, so there's some stuff you can do in Keynote, but like I was telling folks when they start talking about can Ecamm do X or can Ecamm do Y, and it's like you can drive a nail with a screwdriver, but a hammer is better, right? So when I'm doing like, intense graphics and things like that, I'm jumping into Illustrator, jumping into Photoshop, jumping into those graphic design staples that I've been using nearly 30 years. But if there is something that I can make Keynote do and show you all how to do that in Keynote, I'm going to show you, because I don't want you to have to go through that steeper learning curve with Illustrator or Photoshop to do this. So, if you're not wearing glasses, I just showed you how to make a white version of your emoji, right? If you are wearing glasses, it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but it can be done with some more tedious work, right? So, but that's how I would make a inverted silhouette or a white silhouette of my emoji head, right? So look at the emoji lesson to figure out how to even get the emoji head into Keynote. And then you can use that technique to make it an inverted silhouette and do things like that. So it can definitely be done. All right, y'all. Yeah, glad I could help. Definitely glad I could help. I mean, because it can be done, right? There's probably easier software to use. I mean, when I did mine in Illustrator, it took me seconds, right? Because I could just select the glasses, right? Because I did that in Photoshop. I did it in Photoshop first and then did an auto trace in Illustrator. Yeah, but you can do it in Keynote if you were not wearing glasses. You can easily do it in Keynote, right? But I would say if you're going to do something, if you're going to do anything in Silhouette, make sure it's a profile and not a straight on. Because straight on, it's just going to be an oval, right? Unless you have very distinctive hair or something like that. Make sure it's a 3/4 turn or a profile or a head tilt or something. So it just doesn't look like an egg, or a basketball or a football. It's like, what's that? So you definitely want to take some other cues about what you want to do with your graphics. All right, y'all. Appreciate the questions. Appreciate y'all support and y'all hanging out. Give me some ideas about some more things you all want to learn. I saw in there that somebody mentioned a masterclass. Oddly that you mentioned that. I will be doing something. I call them workshops. I'm going to be doing quick workshops later, 2 hours or less, that kind of hammers in on particular topics. And would love for you all to join me on that. Yeah, I actually, that is a good tangent question that I'll answer. I actually wear glasses a lot. I don't need them up close. I had LASIK about 10 years ago, but then age has started to take the LASIK away. So I naturally wear these a lot, but I don't need them when I film, and also I don't want to worry about the glare when I film because I can read everything on my screens without them when I stream, so I don't wear them. I also have a black pair, which is my signature pair that you see in all the graphics and stuff. Yeah, so yeah, but that's the glasses is my general look. Even though I rarely stream with them, that is really who I am. I wear glasses. I went to contacts for more than 25 years. Had LASIK, and after LASIK, and as I'm getting older and LASIK is wearing off, I said I'm not going back to contacts and poking myself in the eye no more. I'll just wear glasses situationally. So that's what I've been doing. Um, yeah, it can be bad. Yeah. Uh, okay, so all right, Billy. Billy, give me another one. Okay, animated video bug that rotates on a transparent background. So rotate. We can do. Um, we can. We can have it twist. We can have it spin, but it can't rotate on an orb on a ball. So it can flip. It can't. Just do a T-shirt. Do a blue T-shirt. Um, yeah, let me show you guys this real quick. All right, so let me just turn that off. All right, so we'll go to shape. And we're gonna do a T-shirt. Color it blue. So this is your icon. The background is already transparent. And let's go to animate. And I can go to action. So we have, let me see, flip. There we go. So we got flip. Um, Number of flips, 2, preview. So you can do that kind of as a rotate. There is also a, they call it rotate, but it's really, I call that spin. Um, but yeah, and so they have, but if I went to build in, there's a lot more options with that. So we have that's the pivot in, pop, flip. So flip might be cool, right? So we do flip, and you can only really flip one time. So there's different ways to do rotations, but basically they're build-ins or actions. And I would just export this, file, export, movie, right? And resolution 400 by 400, that's fine. Apple ProRes 4444. So I would export this as a movie, Apple ProRes 4444, and there you go. You have a animated icon on a transparent background. So that's how I would do it. I did not teach at DTS. I'm a graduate of DTS, Biblical and Theological Studies. Yeah, I am also a chaplain and a minister. So that's my heart work. HEART, not HARD. Heart work. Yeah. So, all right. Do I use any other software to create animations? I don't know why I keep hitting that. I use Photoshop sometimes to create animations, but they're going to be animated GIFs, right? And you use kind of like the onion skinning layer thing. I use Illustrator to make parts for animation. I have done animations in After Effects, but quite frankly, for what I want to do now, I have kind of abandoned, quite bluntly and frankly, I've abandoned After Effects and motion and all that, because it's like the stuff I want to create, it might not be exactly like what After Effects can do and stuff like that, but I can do a lot in Keynote. And when I really start like, I'm treading too much water in Keynote, it's not doing exactly what I want, I'll jump back into AE or motion or something like that. And so that's the thing. To me, I kind of get into that. Is it good enough for me or the person I'm doing it for right now? And is it worth the extra 45 minutes to glam it up in After Effects, right? Because a lower third is a lower third is a lower third, right? Just be creative with it. Make it come on the screen, make it do something, make it leave or make it stay. It doesn't have to, explode into a million pieces or little fragments, twitter off into the sunset, right? You don't need all that. It's a lower third. What is the content in the lower third, right? 'Cause that's what people are really looking at. So it's just that kind of thing. I use a lot of full screen graphics in my YouTube. This can be created on OBS. Yeah, you can do a lot of the things that Keynote can do or whatever else in other software packages. But like I said, I think I've said this before, maybe 10 minutes ago, about Ecamm. You can drive a nail with a screwdriver, but it's easier to drive a nail with a hammer, right? So if there's something that you're more comfortable with, use that. If it's something that it's like, hey, I don't want a steep learning curve and somebody has a template, go by that. If it's a After Effects lower third and all you got to do is put in your words on it because you like that animation, go by that and change the words. It's whatever makes you comfortable. I want to help you do graphics that get you closer to going live, right? I don't want you to be like, oh, well, let me figure out how to make this fly out the right side of the screen and it's not at the exact downward. If all that stuff prevents you from going live, why are you doing it? So it's like, okay, let's simplify. Let's get it out. Let's get your content in it because the content is still king, right? Y'all like that graphic, right? But y'all ain't here for that. Y'all are here for what I'm teaching, right? So it's the content that matters. So if you can do things to enhance your content, do it. If your graphics start to take away from your content, then you have to really watch it because you're really just using the software and letting it just give you cool stuff that is not useful for you. That's just what I think. Oh, cool, Billy. Cool. No, didn't have to put my lemonade down. It wasn't a hold my lemonade challenge. That was an easy one. I think you threw me a softball. All right, y'all. So thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for the tangents. Thank y'all for the extra because I really enjoy doing this with y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Let me know some other things that you would like me to do tutorials on. If you are watching this through my YouTube channel, please subscribe so you'll be alerted. If you're watching this on Ecamm channel, thank you guys. You guys have been diehards with me and hanging out with me for a while. But some of you guys, please come over to the YouTube channel also, because I'm going to have some cool things over there that may or may not be in the group. So you want to watch out for those. Yeah, but I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming. I know there's a little bit of delay, so I'm going to be quiet for about 10 seconds to see if y'all have any closing remarks or questions, and then I'm going to let y'all go. All right, y'all. That is officially it. I am going to get out of here. All right, let me scroll back through, make sure there's no more questions. All right, y'all. So that was widgets plus some extra. All right, y'all. So have a good one. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. I'll probably see y'all a couple more times this week because I got some other cool stuff and some other cool things are launching. So it's going to be one of those kind of weeks this week. But I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I am Bradley Vinson, Alana's Pawpaw. Be blessed, be free. Catch y'all next time. Have a good one.